As the world marks suicide prevention this month, Mount Kenya University was not left out as the university invited Dr. Ofweneke to talk to the students. The theme was Let's Talk About Suicide. Dr. Ofweneke shared some of his life experiences with the students as he discouraged them from committing suicide.
We live to fight another day, or literally we live to die another day. And at this time, there were so many questions in my mind because, and I told you, a lot of mental health has a lot to do with your self-esteem as a person. And then I tell people, walk head up high. Don't care. Any single person who tries to point out a weakness in you, trust me, there's a weakness they're fighting in themselves. And they're just trying to use you as a projection. You always have to know that. As I stand here, my God, I used to have issues with my nose. Then I used to have an issue with my size of my lips. And so I used to have an issue with my, I think everything about me physically was an issue at that time. Because I'm like, oh my God. Nikitani side, because as you used to have those mchongano, if you have maskio cheveve. So I used to have maskio zangu zinakanga. So guys used to say, ati mimi wezi nisengenya because ndasikia sitagonga hapa alafu zireflect back. Ama kama mchota kwa nyuma yangu class, God forbid, because hakuna mtu tamfikia nyuma ya class, juu maskio zangu zimeblock. Then others used to tell me, when I eat meat, I don't need toothpick because my teeth are spaced. And I was like, okay, it's fine. Others told me, my nose. Then apart from that time, this is not the voice I used to have. I used to have a very squeaky, small voice. So either way, guys will say that I sound like a chick. And all these things were messing me up. Then my uncle, mwenye alikuwa ananyang'anya nyama, was not even making it easy for me. Because him used to remind me how much my parents are not there. And he's the only thing that I have. And most of you, you're either going through a mental issue, either because of what your family has been telling about you, what your friends have been telling about you, or actually you've been having a borrowed idea. So umesikia mtu mwingine amechongolewa ni mdark, so you play ni mdark. Wewe unabeba pia hiyo ideology. Wewe unaenda kucommit suicide on behalf of somebody else. I don't know if you're getting something. I'm trying to relate my life story to giving you real life and why you should always be confident about yourself. Fast forward right now in life, let me tell you, there's nothing that you can tell me right now as I stand here that can break me in any way. Not even your comment on social media, on my YouTube or my Instagram of telling me, Dr. Ofweneke, you're not funny, will not break me. It's been 13 years of this career. Wewe ni nani? Wewe ni nani? After 13 years, wewe ni nani? Utoke. So no mimi nende nilie ni resign. Oh my God. After then I'm not funny. Ni macha comedy. Who are you? And that is the question you should always ask that issue or that person who's trying to mess up your self-esteem. Ask yourself, who do you think you are? You're just a flesh and blood like me. Why are you giving somebody who has equal body parts as you a power to decide whether you should live the next day or not?
The event was also graced by Dr. CatherineGachutha, former chair Kenya Counseling Association, who was the guest speaker.
As Lucy has said, I'm CatherineGachutha. I was the chair of Kenya Counseling Association between 2009 and 2012. I am also the director of Kenya Institute of Business and Counseling Studies, KIPCO, and also the chair of Community Anti-Drugs Coalitions of Kenya.
Dr. Catherine said it's important to raise awareness about committing suicide among the community,
where we bring together community actors, whether they are people from health or even from education or administration or even parents, young people, so that we can fight against drug abuse. We believe, we in the addiction field, that if you delay your use of drugs, if you delay using drugs, you are unlikely to develop addiction. And even when you have started using, we would want to make sure you do not develop dependency. And so talking about suicide, and during this month where we would want to raise awareness raising awareness so that we can do protection. You protect those other people. You also make sure that you are nurturing yourself so that you don't get to a point where you feel that you'd want to take away your pain through suicide.
She engaged with the students, where some of the learners shared the real experience when it comes to committing suicide.
Now, this is practical. She was a girl of 20 years, let's say 2021. I even shared it here last week. So this girl, she was in a company of friends. And you understand that the peer pressure will be able to allow girls of such kind of age. At some point, they become pregnant. Kuna tu hiyo pregnancy ka feeling, eh? So, and then they do something called baby shower. Ladies, you understand baby shower more than I do, eh? So she was the organizer of all the other team. So it organized the others, and then when it came to hers, because eventually she became pregnant. So during her time, these friends did not turn up for her. So she felt neglected, rejected, and she decided the best thing I could do to show my friends how angry I am to them is to take my life. So the moment we realized it was too late, she had already committed suicide.
At my grandma's house, and it was a man with the family. He left a letter written that we should take care of his kids. He had 5 children. He divided them to his brothers. This happened because he was working in Nairobi. He used to live in Gara, and he lost his job and he came home, and a lot of frustrations after losing your job.
Yeah, so when I was growing up, after class 8, I went to Form 1. I was living with my sister. Then she was bright, very educated. Then I was bright as well, but sometimes I would fail, in class. Sometimes you don't do well. Sometimes you do exam, you don't perform. And so anytime I would score anything less than a B plus or an A, they will not send me pocket money. They will not send me money to come home. So at some point, and my sister, anytime she will call and ask, what did you score? I'll tell her, this time I had a B plus. And she was like, why not an A? You have everything and you have all the time because you're in a boarding school. And she will tell me, Jerry, you're just a failure. And if you don't work hard, I'm not going to waste my time educating you anymore. So I grew up, or in that moment, I thought I was a failure. Some voice in me could speak to me and tell me, Jerry, you're a failure. So anytime I did not perform so well, the thought of, Jerry, you're just a failure, and that is why you're not doing well. Come KCSE, I thought I would get an A plus. Unfortunately, it was not. I had performed well, yeah, but not an A plus. And she told me, you're just a failure, and I regret wasting my money. And for that, I'm not going to sponsor you for your education, your university education. My parents were not capable of taking me to school. So at that moment, when now I'm home, I'm just imagining that now I'm just here because I did not do well, because I failed. I'm a failure, You tend to think and you lose hope. You're there, some voice speaks to you and tells you, you're just a failure. That is why you're here. Anytime I have misunderstanding with my mom, I'll just tell myself, if you did well, you'll be in university. Until one day, I started talking to people, to mentors. Actually, I tried killing myself. And I thought,